And we are back on Sportsman Radio. I'm your host, Chris Shanfeld, and I'm now joined by former five-time NFL Pro Bowl offensive tackle, Flozell Adams. Thanks for joining the show, Flozell. How's it going?
Oh, everything's going all right. Thanks for having me on.
I got to say, it's a pleasure, and I want to start this interview off by talking a little bit about your college days as you grew up here in Chicago, and I just got to ask you, how did you decide to attend Michigan State University?
At the time, there was a couple of Big Ten schools that wanted me. I wasn't really a very high caliber football player. In high school, it was just more of a potential. So I had Illinois, Northwestern, Iowa, and Michigan State and Michigan, and I can tell you this about Michigan. I went there for a game and visited, and I hated it. So I scratched it off the list. But out of all the schools that I visited, it was just something about Michigan State, the way the team was, the players, and the coaches, and the rapport of the whole area that I liked. So that's the decision that I went with them.
And at the time, head coach was Nick Saban. Now, I mean, he wasn't as sought out to as he is today. He wasn't as big as he was today. Didn't have as much success. Now he has more time under his belt. What was your relationship like with Nick Saban?
We had a pretty good relationship. We didn't have any problems. He told me what he expected out of me, and I did the best I could as a player. And I felt that he brought up a lot of potential in me to become one of the better players I became. So he's a very good coach. He's very skilled and knowledgeable of the game and everything. And he's definitely a person we can go and talk to him about any situations, like doing school, class, and personal matters for what have you. And those are things that he can deal with as well.
During your college career, you were one of the best old linemen in the nation and earned the nickname The Hotel. How do you feel about that nickname, and did it carry on into the NFL?
I can't remember exactly where the hotel came from, but obviously I'm a big guy, so I believe it was one of those ESPN newscasts or something that brought it up back in '96 or something like that, and so it's stuck with me ever since. But it rings. It has a good line to it. I don't mind it.
It was in the second round of the 1998 NFL Draft. The Dallas Cowboys select offensive tackle Flozell Adams out of Michigan State University. What was that moment like for you to be drafted into the NFL? I got to think it was a dream come true.
Well, actually, it wasn't really a dream of mine because my first couple of years at Michigan State, I didn't play, and I didn't start football until junior high school. So my expectation to be an NFL player was slim to none because I didn't really expect to make it there because of, a lot of people just don't. So with me not getting enough time in Michigan State at the beginning, I never thought that I had a chance to make it. But once I had the opportunity to go, I had ran with it. And once I got selected to the Dallas Cowboys, I was like, whoa. I'm like, it's like night and day. And I'm like, Troy and Emmett and Dion and Mike Lewin are still on this team, and I'm going to go down there and play with them. I was like jumping and bouncing off the walls on the inside. And, you would see it if you saw me. Like, hey, how you doing? Hey, cool. But on the inside, I was jumping up and down, and I was so excited.
Yeah, man, playing with these guys you watched growing up, and you were actually able to start 10 games for the Cowboys as a rookie, but you weren't playing tackle. You played guard during those 10 games. Is that correct?
Yeah, I played right guard for those 10 games, and the first couple of games, they had Eric Williams there. He got hurt a couple of games, and at the beginning of the game, I wasn't starting. I ended up finishing like 2 or 3 of them, and then the right guard got hurt, and then I played like maybe 10 snaps of right guard in training camp that year, and then Ivor got hurt in the game, and I was sitting on the bench just chilling, and the coach was like, "Go get in there." I'm like, "What? Get in there." I'm like, "That's Ivor, not Big E. Get in there now." I'm like, "Okay." I ran in the game, and he just said at the moment it was Clay Shotton was a center. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And he was like, just ask Clay what to do. So every play I was asking the center Clay Shotton, like, what do I do? Because I had no practice at this position whatsoever. And so evidently I became pretty good at it, and I stayed there for the next 10 games.
Oh, man, that's great. That's awesome. What would you say is the biggest difference between playing guard and playing tackle?
Oh, it's a total difference. Depending on what type of scheme you're going against, you have to rely on both sides. And you got to have great communication between the tackle and the center. center, and got a lot of double team work on one plays with the center. So it's definitely a different breed of animal on the inside when it comes to D tackles. When you're talking used to going against defensive end 6'3", 6'5", 260, 270, and then you go on the inside they're like 6'1", 350. So that was a very big difference, and tackling it was different because most of the time you're on an island. It's just you and that defensive end doing a tango all the time, so you don't have too much help, if any, out there on the island. So that was one of the biggest adjustments you have to go with.
You guys are listening to Sportsman Radio. I'm your host, Chris Schanfeld, talking with former NFL offensive lineman Flozell Adams. And Flozell, can you tell us about one of those first moments that you had where you actually thought to yourself, wow, I'm actually in the NFL?
One of the most prominent highlights that I have that, the Cowboys have this, in the, next adjoining to the locker room is this sauna area, whirlpool area. So after practice, I went in there and soaked some aching muscles. And so, after a while, a lot of guys come in and soak for aching muscles too. And I was like, bending over and just relaxing. And I looked up and I was like, this was, I think like the third or fourth game of the season. That's when it really hooked on me. And Troy was in there, and Mike and Dion and a lot of guys having fun talking, And I just really soaked in. I was like, wow. I'm sitting here chilling with these guys I've been watching all these years on television in Michigan. So that was when it really clicked in that I was really part of the Dallas Cowboys.
And you gotta love the personalities of Michael Irvin and Deion Sanders. Now, I know they made you do some things as a rookie. What they make you and the other rookies do?
What did they make me do?
Like nowadays, the rookies, they get messed up haircuts. They have to bring in a ton of food. Did you have to do any of that?
Well, really, it was more the offensive line. Whatever position you go against, the leaders of that position would have you do stuff. And nobody told me that I was supposed to bring these stub sandwiches every Friday to practice. So I walked in one day, and Big Nate Newton and Eric Williams, they were all around. They were like, "Flo, what's up?" And I'm like, "What?" They were like, "You didn't bring a sandwich?" I'm like, "What sandwiches?" He's like, "Man, you're supposed to bring a sandwich in every Friday, man. This is what we do. We do this. We've been doing this for the last 10, 15 years. You're a rookie, you bring in sandwiches all the time on Friday." And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever," because I was like a little hard of it. So the next Friday came, and I walked in without them again. And then they looked at me with like, "Oh," I had their mouth, and I was like, "Oh," I was being a smart butt. I'm like, "Oh, you thought I was going to bring him in there?" I'm like, "Oh, whatever, man, I'm not bringing you guys crap. You better ask somebody else." So they got pissed off. So they started taking my stuff, throwing it in the garbage, and I couldn't find my shoes, my helmet, and then they had my things off in the meeting room. I came in and sat down in a pool of liquid shower soap. I mean, I was like, "Okay, guys, I get in. So what we did was we just bring these sandwiches in for you guys." So that's what had me instead of bringing the sandwiches, and they laid off me a lot.
Yeah, you gotta love those stories. Now, Flozell, can you tell us about one, maybe two of the toughest guys you had to defend, in your opinion?
And it's so hard to really pick out one or two different players, but gee, there's so many that I went against over years. And before I jumped into a decent player, I always used to have this trouble against a guy named Hugh Douglas in Philly. I mean, this guy he was phenomenal. I mean, I know you probably don't see the stats. He made a couple of Pro Bowls, but his presence was known, and it was just very difficult to read him and to adjust to him because he always did his own thing. He wasn't on a particular scheme. He was always on the island doing his stuff. So that was one of the hardest players I had to go against because he was a trusty vet at the time, and I was a young left tackle, and he gave me a run for my money. Yes, he did. And another one I can think of is possibly was Simeon Rice at the time when he was with the Arizona Cardinals. He was a very, very excellent pass rusher. So if he was third and long, I mean, you got to get it all. And if you call in the back of your heels, I mean, it's over. You're definitely going to get it. So, I mean, I can count 50 or 60 guys. They were actually very, very, very great players. And talk about some that probably wouldn't even know they were great players. They just didn't get the notoriety of the pub or anything. So, the list can go on and on.
Hey, I'm sure of it. They're not in the NFL for no reason. Unfortunately, in 2005, in a game against the New York Giants, you tore your ACL. Can you tell us what was going through your mind when you got that bad news?
What had happened was, I think, actually, A-Train from Chicago, the one who fell on my leg, the running back, safety hit him and they ran him on the back of my leg. And I got up and they felt kind of funny, and I was like, you always get hit in the leg and everything, and take it off, but this was kind of different. So I went to the sideline, and they were checking everything, and because I'm a big guy, my leg was so strong, they could never really tell. So it started swelling up, and they were like, well, sit out a couple of series and everything. So they ended up being a half, and in the third quarter, I came came out into the field. So I played about 10 plays, and it was just stiffing itself fine until we had a backside play where it was my right knee. Backside play where I had to step to my right real fast and go down the line, and it just split apart. I was like, oh, I knew it was over. I knew it was over. So it was a trying time when I had that surgery. Like, oh, you can come back to this. I'm like, this thing hurts so bad that I don't even know about it so bad. I just want to walk. I don't even care about football. I just want to walk.
Well, you did come back and you did continue a great career. You are a 5-time NFL Pro Bowler. Did that mean anything to you while you were playing, and does it mean anything to you now?
Yeah, it means a lot. I mean, anybody could win. I mean, well, not anybody. Well, a lot of high caliber guys could win. For me to be chosen for the Pro Bowl, that was a very good accomplishment for me, and I feel good about it. I mean, some people don't make any. So, but it was a very good accomplishment. I'm proud to have under my belt.
After spending, I believe it was 12 seasons in Dallas, you spent a year with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you were actually able to play in Super Bowl 45 against the Green Bay Packers. What was it like to play in one of the biggest games of all time, the Super Bowl?
Well, as an NFL player, that's what you work for. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know how many players maybe I already studied. 1,200 players that are playing right now are going to be on a final list at least for this year. 1,200 players are waiting to get on that game. So for me, not to down confidence, I think 12 years we haven't won anyway. We only won one playoff game, and that was my 12th year. So to make it to the Super Bowl was an absolute, positively greatest holiday that I can ever have, just to make it. Even though we didn't win it, I prefer to win it, but just to be part of the game was one of the great accomplishments to play in it, and the atmosphere and the people and the things leading up to that. I mean, it was just awesome. It was awesome. I can talk about that for hours.
And like you said, unfortunately, you guys did come up just short. As the Packers won that game 31-25, I got to think it was just a great experience to be a part of it. And that was actually your last football game that you played. Now being out of the league for a few years, how's life after football treating you, Flozell Adams?
Well, right now I build homes in Dallas, and I build single-family homes in some suburbs in Dallas. So I started that company about my third or fourth year in the league. So at that time, I didn't know what was going to happen. Just like an airplane, I don't know what was going to last. I didn't think I was going to last 13 years. I thought I was going to last about 4 or 5. So at the time, I was like, well, let me establish a business right now. So just in case something happens, I have something to fall back on. And that's what I did. And well, I ended up lasting 13 years, but I always had my business, and I always dealt with it when I had to, even when I was playing. So that's one of the things that I do right now that keeps me busy.
All right, and with that being said, Flozell, I got to say, thanks for your time. I got to get you on later on in the season to talk some Dallas Cowboys, though, man, because I'm not feeling too good about that team. Still not trusting that offensive line, but I'm sure we could talk about that in the future. Before I let you go, is there anything on the air? Is there anything you'd like to plug on the air for myself and our listeners?
No, everything, but I just appreciate you having me on.
Hey, it was a pleasure speaking with you, man. Take care, all right?